Hello everybody and welcome to Illicit Lounge episode 3. We are back for the first podcast of 2024 and we have a very special guest today, Mr. Aaron Connery from Outstraight Records.
Nice one.
Welcome. We've also got my co-host, Mr. Sean Gannon down the end there. You know his mush from the last couple of podcasts that we've done.
Fucking up the sound over and over again.
Take number 24.
Producer of the year.
Anyways, welcome Aaron. You were actually officially our first proper guest.
Yeah, I'm honoured, man. Thanks for having us
Last
on.
couple we've just had is kind of our own little crew, kind of getting used to it and kind of finding our feet with the podcast, but kind of happy enough at how it's been going the last while. Nice bit of feedback off it, so it's about time we start getting some guests in.
Yeah, I've seen the first couple of episodes, man, so genuinely thanks for having us on. Big time. Appreciate it.
It's a lot
to sit down and have a chat with you.
Yeah, definitely. We've been trying to catch each other's ear for a while now, I think.
Definitely.
Definitely catching each other at parties and trying to get in each other's ear, but just not being the right time. So it's just a pleasure to finally sit down and have a proper chat with you, you know.
Fourth time I'm trying to chat at any kind of party. It's going in there and it's going straight out the unit.
Yeah, like and if he wasn't working, I'd be working. If I wasn't working, he'd be working. So it'd be either his show or my show or something. We'd come across each other, so you're just flying around, fucking.
So it's nice to sit down and have a chat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Big time, man.
Looking forward to getting,
especially after Christmas and everything else as well.
Yeah, it was nice. We actually had a great time at your party on the 26th on Stamos night.
It was great to have everybody down for it, to be honest. Like, it was probably like family affair.
Definitely.
And I felt like that as well. It was very I think a lot of people were using the word wholesome.
It was a very awesome night. Yeah. It's just like it was all different crews there from different kind of like, even some of my fucking childhood mates that like wouldn't even normally go out to them kind of gigs was there, and it was just you were just anytime you go to the smoking area, you were bumping into people you knew, or even on the dance floor. Yeah, it was definitely a wholesome buzz.
It was a big highlight of the year for me, was getting that feedback from people throughout the year. It was like, coming to a hip hop show and kind of getting that kind of element that is maybe somewhat a little bit rare. Yeah. So it really makes the difference for putting all the effort in.
For sure, man. And what I love about your parties as well is the way that you touch on both the hip hop and the electronic side of it. Like, it's not just one show. So you kind of focus on trying to get people down early, which is quite a rarity these days, especially in club culture where everyone is going out at 12 o'clock, or they're coming into the club at 11, 12 o'clock and only catching the last couple of hours, where you're not getting a proper chat in with people, or people are already half pissed, or you know what I mean. Whereas I like that kind of element of getting down to a gig early. Live music is always nice, be it if it's just a bit of hip hop or be it like actual bands or guitars or whatever it may be, but it's nice to get down and have that element of getting the first point in and listening to music that you can still have a chat with someone beside you, and you're kind of just catching up with people that, whereas you wouldn't normally get that with the club scene. You're kind of in there straight away.
It's becoming more rare these days, and I guess it's a symptom of having like a lack of venues and stuff as well. Like, you don't have as much kind of leeway to be a little bit more creative. For sure, it has been a bit of a challenge maybe in 2023, but I think it's really starting to click with people now who are coming to the shows and they're really starting to understand what we're doing with them as well. So it's been going really well, but I think that was definitely the pinnacle of coming back together. Yeah, sure. At the end of the year show, so like, having yourself there and having like even Collie there as the headliner and stuff. Really made a difference.
It was great.
Had my mates from Berlin, so for me as a personal thing, Turk and Finn, you would have seen them DJing as well. So fantastic DJs. They've been living over in Berlin for like 10 years now. So it's great to have them home and be able to host them and have them.
Pablo Santos as well. Tip on him. I had never seen him play before.
I'm surprised at that, because he plays around a lot. Like,
it just never ended up getting to see him. But he definitely surprised me that night. He smashed out a nice. It was kind of some UKG, quite influenced. It was really good.
He's actually a big part of the extended Outstraight family as well. Just to kind of touch on Pablo for a second, he really has been. He's contributed a lot to the shows over the year as well. Like, he has a really big following himself. He has his own party series as well. He contributes to lots of different things in Dublin, so he's an absolute hero of the Dublin scene. And his own party series has different rhythm that he runs with another DJ called T-Rock, and they've played around loads of different venues in Dublin, like Dashi, and they had their kind of residency there, and they've been in Hang Dai and the big romance and stuff as well. So it was great that you get to see him as well. And
for sure,
the music that he plays at our shows is definitely quite different than what he plays at his own shows as well. Yeah. So he has a massive range of what he does, but an absolute hero.
Always good. Always a great sign of a DJ. Having high range.
I think that's a big kind of hallmark of everybody in Outstraight. Like, as well. Like, you can see Dre and Connor and stuff.
There's definitely a big crossover there.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
It's definitely nice to see that element. Like, I suppose Connor and Dre, having known them since I was 14, 15, 16. Growing up with them, and I touched on this in the last podcast. It was the whole thing about having Connor up in my mum's bedroom, and using the fucking
Yeah, no, I was seeing this, man. That was so nice for me to hear. Yeah.
Using like a webcam.
Yeah, using a webcam as a microphone up in the box room in my mum's gaff, and like to go from that record, I think they're actually still on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Like to go from that.
I want to see this. If they
Yeah, I will link after. We won't put them public for the people to see,
yeah.
but I'll show you after.
They're all getting
yeah,
packaged
to
up
go
for
see them
EP.
doing that, and then to go all the way to like playing it all together now at the Outstraight the showcase and getting to do the hip hop thing as well as getting to DJ as well, because obviously like we all as a crew, like our DJs, there isn't really many rappers, but Connor and Dre always stood that kind of thing. Even though we all as a circle of mates were all into kind of different elements and different things, that was what made it kind of great, because you didn't have a choice but to only like house or only like drum and bass, or because you could be out at a house show and you come back to Dre's and like you are listening to drum and bass, you don't get a choice in it. You know what I mean? So yeah, oh my gosh,
Just a smidge.
little
But no, honestly, man, the way you were speaking about the lads, because obviously I know the lads not as long as you do, but that meant a lot to me, because I think that's a big focus of what I do with Outstraight, is kind of bringing all them different elements and giving people the platform and the chance to do these different things with the music as well. So that was actually it meant a lot to me to hear it being spoken about like that.
Yeah,
and that's what Outstraight has been for people, like
for sure. Illicit would be quite similar in the sense of that kind of family vibe, and obviously when we started out, we were small basement parties and local lineups in small venues, and sometimes you kind of get lost in the whole, like years later, and you're doing the bigger shows and you're booking the big acts and you're doing it in big venues. But as fun and as great as they are, like you know, that going to your party on the 26th kind of reminded me of that. It was like that wholesome vibe that you mentioned, where like
community.
It's a and like if you're on the dance floor and you have a quick look around, then that they're upstairs. You know what I mean? Up in the smoking area or in the green room talking shit with someone. Like it's easy to find your mates, and it's so it keeps it that wholesome vibe. Whereas like in the bigger venues, like you could go with a gang of mates out, and then you might only be stuck at one for the night because the rest of them have gone off different. Can't see them because there's thousands of people there. So it's definitely a nice.
And that's why we've always kept the shows to be free entry if we can as well. And Outstraight gets a lot of support to do that, from the venues, from Body Tonic and from other venues as well, like the Sugar Club and stuff. We got to do 3 shows there last summer, and in terms of like kind of like a summer residency, and then we did 1 or 2 shows there this year as well. And people really are kind of reaching out and giving us them kind of chances to do these kind of shows in a different manner as well. So big ups to everybody who kind of supports the whole Outstraight thing, because it isn't just myself or Lewis Kenny or anyone who's kind of involved behind the scenes who's doing it. So it's all together. Like,
mentioning Lewis there, I suppose to just touch on for people that are listening or watching, and they might not have the kind of background of exactly what Outstraight is, or they might be only new to the parties over the last year or two. Do you want to give us a little bit of a background onto kind of where Outstraight came from?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be 10 years now next year, which is actually crazy to be able to say that as well. Like, so Outstraight would have started back in 2015. Lewis Kenny would have started. He's a very good friend of mine, very close friend. One of my first friends when I moved to Ireland, actually. I was born in London. So when I first came here, he was probably my best friend from day one. He would have been on the show obviously as well, but he's actually in London at the moment, just visiting a few friends. So he started Outstraight as a arts collective. He was a spoken word artist at the time. He's a fantastic artist in his own right. He's doing lots of different things now with like trad music and stuff as well. But he started Outstraight with an artist called Paul Curran, and they made a spoken word kind of split EP. And then that kind of snowballed a little bit from 2015 onwards, and a couple of other artists kind of came into it, like Cormac Fitz and Brian Gallagher as well. Again, other spoken word kind of artists, and then it kind of branched out from there. If you were to ask Lewis, and I won't speak too much for him, he would definitely say that he started Outstraight for a vehicle to get into festivals for free, which I think we've definitely kind of brought him through to even now. But that's very much where it started, and I was definitely always inspired by watching it, being one of Lewis's good friends. I was always kind of around the scene myself. I wasn't involved in music back then myself. Being honest, I wasn't involved in music in any way, shape or form. But kind of slowly over time, kind of started wanting to DJ and stuff as well. But really inspired by what Lewis was doing, because he wasn't just doing the spoken word thing. He was also trying to get our friends who are involved in like street art and graffiti and all this stuff, and making them kind of be involved in the scene as well.
Of course, yes.
And having them kind of open door policy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, and I think we're trying to carry that through to today as well. I always said, when I thought I wanted to be a superstar DJ, when I kind of started out, I was like, Jesus, if I get a chance to get to play in a club or on a venue or on a stage, I'd love to keep that door open behind me and let people come in behind that as well. And I think it's a really big part of the ethos of what we do with Outstraight. So even all the shows we did this year.
You have that promoter in your blood. That's the way you ended up kind of drifting off there, rather than being the superstar DJ. You kind of.
Well, I kind of found my way over time. Like, you know, I thought I wanted to be a DJ. Then I moved to Berlin. This was before I actually kind of became involved directly with Outstraight myself. I was living in Berlin in 2019. Came back then, obviously, when kind of COVID kicked off and all that stuff. And then I started producing music in terms of hip hop and making beats. And just to give a shout out to the guy who kind of got me involved in the hip hop scene in Dublin is obviously Pager. If it wasn't for
Pager, yeah.
if it wasn't for Sean, I wouldn't know half the people that I know in terms of hip hop.
How did you meet Sean?
Through my best friend Fergal, through Fungi.
Yeah, I know Fungi
as well.
Of course, yeah.
Fungi went to one of the shows that Vickers was running up in Thomas House, I think.
I was there that night.
I wasn't there, but Fungi got the know Pager through that.
That kid.
That was that show. It was that show. I wasn't at the show or anything, but I think that's how. And obviously Pager's a little bit involved in the street art scene as well, and so Fungi.
Yeah.
So they got to know each other, and then I think I was doing like 1 or 2 shows. It wasn't really as Outstraight. I was kind of like DJing and like the back page and stuff, and then I was kind of producing little bits of hip hop and kind of stuff, just being bored during the lockdowns, to be honest.
Oh, shit.
But Fungi kind of tried to push the two of us together, and like Pager's an absolute gent, obviously.
Legend.
To be honest, would be my best friend in music.
Yeah, I miss the dude. He's moved over to Australia now at the moment.
No, of course. Like,
also, shout out to Pager the Slot. If you don't know him, Sean Page, absolute sick hip hop artist.
Big
time.
Like
lyricism, flow, everything. Like he's
and Suser as well.
Suser as well. Yeah.
Like he's taught me so much of what I was producing. So that's why I'm saying like I didn't actually get to meet him. Yeah, he didn't come to any of the shows that we were doing originally, and this was before it was Outstraight officially or formally. But like he made me a better producer. He connected me to everybody in Dublin.
Sick, yeah.
And I genuinely don't think like Outstraight wouldn't be the form it is now if it wasn't for him kind of collecting all those dots. So like I'm sure he'd be a big part of the scene if he was here at the moment. He will be whenever
he returns.
Absolutely.
100%.
But that's kind of how Outstraight kind of became what it is now. When I came back then from Berlin, and as the lockdowns were kind of coming towards an end, I always kind of wanted to start a record label or kind of get it more as a collective thing, because again, that's what I kind of said, keep this open door kind of policy behind us. And with Outstraight, it kind of been like, you know, when anyone's kind of doing art over time, you know, I think Lewis, his lifespan or what he wanted to do with spoken word was kind of coming towards the end. And like, you know, obviously Paul Curran and stuff had passed away, and things had kind of gone in different directions, and himself he got in a different direction of what he wanted to do. So I asked him, could I kind of use the name of Outstraight? It was kind of a perfect timing of things. I was always going to do it anyway, but I wanted to continue what he had already started with the inspiration behind it. And he was very much on board for it. So like, you know,
so it was left idle there after Paul had passed away.
He kept it going for a while, and it kind of went off into different branches and stuff. But his own love for spoken word, and again, not speaking too much for him, but he definitely kind of had changed into doing different things
in different directions. So he was happy for you to kind of bring that to your vision rather than have it idle.
Exactly. And he's still very much involved in it as well, but I am very much more on the music side now than he would be at the moment. So
well, you definitely left it in safe hands, because you've been doing a phenomenal job since the back of COVID. You caught my eye early after COVID, and obviously with Dre, you know, linking in with you guys, and he was telling us about it, hyping it up, and we kind of found you online and been following you. So it was a while before I was able to actually get down to your show, but just everything about what you were doing, I was really into. I liked the way you spread across the genres, and you're obviously doing the hip hop, doing the drum and bass, and bringing that element to it.
That's Dre's influence for sure. But
of course, but again, it's nice to see that that wholesome vibe of bringing that kind of collective people together, bringing talented people together and putting them on show. It's not just about trying to make a quick book and booking a big headliner to try and make a quick book.
No, for me, that's what Outstraight is.
Yeah. That's
bringing them people together, and that's why we try and keep the shows free. And
it's very evident as well from what you do. You can see it. You can see that family vibe from the outside very easily. You know,
and that's why it still inspires me even now. It's like people say, why can you keep going with the energy that you do? Because we worked with. I actually wrote down a list of everyone that we worked with last year that we personally had booked to come and play at an Outstraight show. I think it's like 54 acts.
Yeah, I've seen you shared it on Instagram. Sick.
But just meant a lot that we get a lot of support and people want to come to the shows, and they're all contributing as well. I don't feel like Outstraight is my thing. I think it's
it's very much a collective
thing. There's 10 people in Outstraight, so I'm 10% of it, they're 10% of it, and so on and so forth.
I suppose how did you go from, I suppose, taking the idea of wanting to set up Outstraight from Lewis and together building this new thing off the back of COVID? What made you get the members on board that are on board? Like, how did you find Don Cobbs? How did you find Dre? How did you find the guys and collectively bring them together to start something up? Like, was it a mutual decision, or was it like you booked them for a show and you all ideas bounced, so you decided to just
we
keep doing it?
Outstraight, the first couple of shows would have been just me before we kind of formalised it. It's actually interesting, like, what date is it today? It's 12th of January. I was only talking to Cobbs about this recently. It was just literally around this date last year that we got together for the photo shoot, when we got us all together. So that's when it formalised as the group kind of setting.
I remember that. Is that the one with the couch and all in the front
garden? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was actually, you're just walking around.
I remember the lads saying there.
We got. Have you seen these photos? They're hilarious.
Brilliant. Josh Mulholland, he's a phenomenal photographer and videographer.
Yeah. So shout out to him as well, big time. Definitely. But so we had done a couple of shows before this time last year. Again, Paige would have been a big link through all of this, like, you know, in terms of the people who came and played at the shows. We loved everybody. And then it was just the people who made sense, the people that we probably got on with the best. Obviously, it is the merit of the music as well. But for me, it's a really important thing that, you have to be sound, to be honest, that we want to work with the right kind of people as well. And I think everybody in Outstraight, it's not their whole identity. And I think that's really important as well. That's music is a part of who we are, what we want to do, but it's not the whole picture either.
For sure.
And I think it was a very natural thing. Everybody who's in Outstraight, I didn't make a real calculated decision. It just naturally came together.
Exactly, yeah.
It just sounds like all your values are aligned as well. Absolutely. So like everybody represents what Outstraight is trying to represent.
Exactly.
Well, like both individually and together as a community or as a collective.
And I think the biggest highlight is the fact that we're all best friends now as well. Like, you know, so it's it makes sense for everybody who's in it. It's been a very natural kind of progression, and excited to see where it kind of goes now.
Yeah, man,
forward.
For sure, because like, I suppose not only do you guys do events, but as you touched on, you want to do a record label, and you've definitely already began that. Some nice releases out there so far. And I suppose you have a music video coming up as well, first official music video.
Kind of touch on it with Josh there. Josh Mulholland has shot a video for us. Going to be coming out, I'd say, now in a couple of weeks. Trying to get a couple of placements and stuff from that. And we have an Outstraight EP couple as well. So just getting the kind of like last kind of final few pieces, so you'll definitely kind of start seeing everything coming out now from maybe end of January going into February and stuff like that as well. But excited to kind of get the music side going. I think it wasn't really a calculated decision, but it was really good to kind of maybe do all the shows first so that people understood who the artists are, what we're doing with Outstraight, and who the people are behind Outstraight. And now I think that we're going to really hit the music hard this year. We've already got a couple of singles out. We'll have the EP out now soon as well. And I think that'll be a really strong representation of who we are from the music side. And I think people already know who it is from the live music side.
It's nice to see. It's like the new generation of the Irish hip hop, and it's great to see, because I grew up listening to Irish hip hop from when I was 12,
same as
14, like listening to the likes of G.I. and Costello, and then obviously your brother's involved with the Irish hip hop scene, Jerry Boy. So like that whole era of, you know, G.I., Costello, Jerry Boy, Rebel Phoenix, LD, all the guys, even though everyone's progressed, but they've all progressed in their own ways and all doing their own different thing, and it's great to see. But it's that next level of it, you know, it's that next generation of it, and it's nice to see that you're coming in hard with it, like, and the music videos are coming, and because it did go quiet for a while there. Not to say that no one wasn't doing, or that they stopped working or anything like that. There was still tunes coming out. I know Costello and stuff was still always releasing EPs and dropping stuff, but I suppose in terms of like the shows, there were so many back in the day. There was plenty of like Irish hip hop shows to go to, or if it wasn't, there'd be an American hip hop artist that's coming over, and there'd be loads of Irish.
That was like
but then I've, like, obviously with COVID and everything, and then after COVID it kind of went quiet for what, you know, whereas you guys are now stepping in there and making that mark and making it happen again. Which I appreciate
that. I think hip hop to a degree probably has a bit of a lifespan for each artist as well. Like, you know, you're probably, unless you're an actual.
Well, you're talking over what, 10 years or to 10.
Exactly. Like, that's already a long time to be contributing to a music scene. Like, things just change naturally over time. But I think you guys probably know yourselves, like with the lack of venues and things now as well. The
Village, I think, as well, where Opium is now. That was another one that was actually. They used to do a lot of shows up there.
I think I've seen Immortal Technique there one time. Thinking back.
I think I was trying to get in. I couldn't get in because I didn't have ID with me or something. And I was 16 trying to get into the venue.
But there used to be a lot more, like, the volume of shows was probably bigger at a certain time. Like,
But it's great to see.
Interesting talking about Jerry Boy, because he actually has one of the tracks on the EP as well. He produced one of the tracks that we have coming out now, so it'd be interesting.
So that's going to be on the EP that you have, the Outstraight EP.
The record label soon. So it's nice to have that link back to what came before, and obviously then we have a lot of stuff from the producers within Outstraight as well. So 4-4, not found. He was a fantastic producer in his own right. Kind of getting more into the beat making. I don't know if you know him, but he's more on kind of like live side in terms of beat making.
I've seen a lot of the clips.
Yeah, exactly.
Making it's
so,
pretty sick.
And like, although he's like you're making your own mark and like your own stamp on the scene itself, like obviously the older artists that would have came before you, it's great to get influence from them as well. But like, will you start working with them a bit more now as well, or can you see like more collaboration between? I'd
love to see it. Yeah, I think obviously hip hop to a degree has like, and it should have like an ego attached to it because it's a very personal thing. Hip hop, like, you know, so maybe the crews are a little bit separate, but I'd love to see it working closer together. You know,
because there is still a little bit of new generation when it comes to the working class records crew. Like, you've got Shane Down and SD96, man.
Yeah.
That guy, he actually only sent me one of his unreleased that he recorded the other day, literally 2 days ago. Like,
I remember seeing a video.
Technically so good at what he does.
So good, really, really good.
And obviously you can tell that it's a genuine love for hip hop.
Oh, 100%. It's just pure love for it. Like, you can't no bullshit with him. Like, he's straight up and like just pure talent. He's gonna do well, and it would be nice to see that kind of element merged together. Because I know you do have GI coming up for well, I don't want to release any lineups or anything like that, but you have previously worked in, or you might have something coming up.
Well, GI's played at a couple of the shows.
That's what I was thinking.
Like, so he's played a couple of the shows. I've DJ'd before for Costello. Yeah, this was years ago myself, like, you know. But no, huge inspiration. Would love to work with the guys more. Obviously,
I remember seeing a video. It was on, I think it was on Don Cobb's Instagram, but it was a few of the Outstraight lads, probably before it was Outstraight, or before they were part of it, and GI as well. It was like something Cypher sessions or something.
In the shed quarters thing.
I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, you need more of that on.
No, definitely.
You need more of that on records, you need more of that
them
on
shed quarters. GI
like
used to put a lot of them up back in the day. What was the SBTV and stuff used to go? No, it wasn't SBTV, that's the English one. Or is it? Am I getting them confused? There was an Irish like version of what SBTV is the one that Ed Sheeran and his mate found. I'm thinking of that one. It's
there's an Irish version that's like,
that's the one I'm on about.
It has like grime and drill and all on it.
Yeah, but it has like a mad dubstep tune at the very start of it, and then it goes into like the lads doing ciphers or doing like live recordings. I can't for the life of me think of it, but yeah, GI used to do a lot of it sitting on top of the shed, and I presume same shed quarters.
And then like even like Lewis he'd know like Paulie quite well, like LD and stuff. So like there is actually a very close link between ourselves and
Paulie has a good spoken word side to him as well. Like
I think that's why he actually kind of probably connected
with the rap as well. He can hold his own out.
Oh, 100%.
I know they can all hold their own, but I think he has a bit more of a spoken word kind of
outside of music essentially. Like 100%. And Lewis knows Paulie quite well, so I've met him a few times over the years and stuff like
So we used to do workshops up in the Axis in Ballymun.
Yeah.
Back when I was like 14. And like G.I. and Costello would be like
Dean Scurry
teaching them how to.
Dean Scurry actually came to our show last year.
He's an OG.
Yeah, big time.
Well, I actually only bumped into him there. Was it last weekend for the show with Brick Nasty and Maverick Sabre in the Sugar Club?
How was that show actually? I know some of the Outstraight lads were there and stuff, and you were there.
Bumped into Graham actually at it. Yeah, it was phenomenal. Connor was with us as well, and Dre. We all went in. We were all meant to go this Saturday. But
you went boat lights, did you?
We ended up getting guest list for the Friday night as well. So me and Collie, he had a gig in town anyway, so we just tipped in, and then Dre ended up tipping in as well. And it was phenomenal. I'd never really listened to Brick Nasty before. I just went for Mav, and getting to listen to Brick Nasty play. So they came out, and at the start of the set they came out and they do their own set, which was phenomenal. The saxophone player and the drummer was
full load
ass. So good. But so they done their set, and then they'd have a lot of guests on the lineup. Maverick Sabre being one of them. Who else? Kojak was on. Then on the second night, Shiv was singing as well. She used to play down in Berlin too. Khaki Kid as well. So there was a nice lineup of all Irish music. But instead of each artist having like their separate band, Brick Nasty comes out. They do their set, and then they take a step back, and then they be the backing band for each act that came out. So each act that came out, like Brick Nasty were the band. It was fucking deadly, man. It was so good. But it was, I suppose, what I think I loved about it so much is working over the Christmas and just being in the nightclub industry so much. Like, it's very hard to get immersed in gigs anymore because you're always either so on high alert running around or else you're trying to just, you know what I mean? It's very hard to like just get fully lost in a show.
It's work mode. You know? Even when it's hard on a day off, it's like
exactly.
It's like you're in the office essentially.
Yeah. But even if it might be like you're just going to one of your mates' gigs and you're not actually working that night, it's still very hard because you're always busy talking to someone or someone nabs you in the smoking area. You're always kind of just busy talking about other things and not getting to fully get immersed in the gig. Whereas it was the first time in a long time that I got to go and just get fully immersed in a gig, and it was a live element to it. It was like watching the saxophone come in and watching you created a really
That's
nice
how much to
atmosphere.
hip hop, I think, as well, when you have live bands. I do love the DJ kind of thing too, but I think there's time and space for both.
I've touched on this before. I think I actually bashed the live band in the last podcast. I think
You did actually. I remember it now that you said it. Yeah, you were like, nah, fuck that.
and I still kind of stick by it. To an extent,
We have this. I think the artists that were at that Brick Nasty,
it was a different
their music
element.
worked really well. with
It was
live
more
bands.
soulful singing. It was
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean.
can see
You
that.
know, Brick Nasty are a little bit more hip hopish. Obviously, you've got Khaki Kid and stuff that more hip hop.
Yeah.
But you have Mav then coming out doing more soulful singing. It's a different type of show. What I was referring to is like when you look back on the old videos of like Eminem and 1999 coming out with the fucking mask on and the chainsaw, and all of a sudden the DJ scratches and drops a beat and it's just like electric.
That's part of
whereas
it, yeah.
whereas like then you go and see him years later in Slain and it's all a band that's playing it, and it's just the drums and the guitar, and you're not hearing a natural beat. It's like it's a recreated beat from the drum, and it just doesn't hit the same at all. I feel. I think you just like
More of a show
just
rather
more
than
being,
music.
you'd rather just be in a club with like a big sound system with the original raw beats just fucking catching your chest and just like getting to really get into it. Like,
Different energy, essentially.
completely different energy.
Time and
exactly.
place for both.
Yeah.
I love the DJ thing too, because it's raw, it's hip hop, and that's what it is.
Yeah,
like, you know,
and then
in
like,
its
you can't be
foundation.
like a bit of like with to someone that knows what they're doing with the scratch.
Handsome Paddy, if you've seen him obviously at the show when he was doing it with Beat on Cobbs, it's like, you know, like as a DJ myself, like, you know, it's like, right, that's next level again. You know, like, and
oh man, I'm fucking DJing
kept the guys on
years
toes
now, and I
sometimes.
was still just like recording them, like tagging them. Christ, man. Yeah, handsome
no,
Paddy.
he's on a G, like, yeah, big time. He's-
Him and Bubba Funk, they play a lot together, like in two absolute OGs of the scene, and phenomenal DJs.
Yeah.
But it's refreshing to see.
It's actually interesting when we had Flip Tricks over in the summer back there in August last year that I would have asked him, it's like, do you know anything about Irish hip hop? And it was very much, they're like, being honest, they're like, no, we haven't heard too much about Irish hip hop, but they're like, we know DJ Mech, you know, so going back a long time, which is Era and Scary Era, going back into like the
Remember Rerun?
but it's like, you know, like we were bringing it back from the airport, and we were like, oh, do you know anything about Irish hip hop? And we played one of Pager's tunes, and we played one of Beano's tunes, and they really liked it, and they had a genuine interest in it as well, obviously coming to do a show in Dublin. But they were like, we know DJ Mech, and he's like on a different level, he's respected outside of Ireland and
That's it.
just the international hip hop community. Like,
Yeah.
so
Unreal.
but no, DJ is very important for hip hop, and that kind of scratches it too. Like,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the originality of it as well. I suppose it wasn't a live band when hip hop started off.
exactly.
The good mix of it was Action Bronson show. So he had musicians. It wasn't a full band, but he had like support musicians with the Alchemist. So the Alchemist was DJing,
Savage.
and then they had like
Yeah.
he might
Alchemist is
he might have had like the like good chunks of the tune playing over the speakers or like through like turntables or whatever. But then there was a sax player, but he had taken it out of the source file.
Right. Okay.
So that the sax was playing live, or like there was some drums playing live or whatever.
So like go
But
back
he-
in
yeah,
and recreate the file and take away like
he's taking away some stems, like yeah, so that
That's really intricate stuff, but like that's actually that's what you want to be doing.
pretty cool. Yeah.
and like it wasn't massive production. It was in the academy, so like it wasn't arena show,
Yeah.
but it was still like had that impact.
Was that the one that Working Class supported?
And no, they just had a DJ on support.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
just Action Bronson. It wasn't the ALC Action Bronson like collaborative gig.
Yeah.
He was just on tour with him.
Right, gotcha.
But it was such a strange concept. It was kind of similar to the Brick Nasty one, only a DJ as well.
Well, I said that like my New Year's resolution now after going to them, I was like, I'm going to more live gigs this year. Like, you know, it's
Thought you were gonna say playing guitars.
no, it's I fucking would have loved to have learned instruments. I was never pushed into it as a kid, and then obviously growing up, it's never too late, I suppose. I'm just making excuses, but I would have loved to have like
I'm not very
learned
useful
piano
though,
as a
it's,
kid. I would have loved to have learned piano as a kid or something.
Yeah.
You know,
I never even really listened to music when I was a kid, I'm not gonna lie. The first thing I listened to properly was 50 Cent's second album when I was on a beach in Greece.
that's so specific.
It wasn't even Get Richer Die Trying.
I listened to no music before then, and then one day just 50 cents appeared.
Yeah, no, it was the Massacre, and I was on a beach in Greece on a family holiday, and I was like a very young teenager. And I was
Funny
like,
enough, that was one of the first hip hop albums I got as well. As for
go.
my birthday, I got the Massacre and the Game, the documentary, both of them together for a birthday present.
yeah, it's like, you know, the lads on the beach were selling CDs, and I was just bored, obviously, on a family holiday, and I had like a Walkman, and Dave was like, I'll buy this. And then that was the start.
the rest
of
is
hip-hop for me.
history.
Yeah, literally, like, yeah.
Jeez.
Big time, like.
That's
So
class.
I don't come from a very musical family or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just kind of progressed over time with the DJing thing and then producing and stuff.
Like a lot of musicians, a lot of artists.
I was the
like
same. I
we
grew
said
up
it in the
listening to
first
Wham.
episode as well. I was like, we were saying like, oh, what he's listening to these days, and I was putting the spot down. I was like, I don't know, nothing really kind of clubby. Do you know the way I don't?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't.
Although
need to be
even when I
clubby,
was DJing, like made
most-
illicit and stuff.
I'd say most DJs that you speak to, like, or most musicians in general, like whatever genre that they focus in, the 99% of them probably don't listen to that.
like
on a daily
metalheads,
basis,
all
like, you know, what
like
I mean?
Metallica, they all listen to like hip hop and like orchestras and whatever. Like
I jump in the car, it can be absolutely, like, it, depending on what
whatever.
mood it is, you could be sitting there, something really soulful and chill, it could be a bit of hip hop, or it could be fucking pumping techno, like, it could be anything.
Yeah.
It just depends on the mood, babe.
Dale in the rain, looking out the window. You know?
A little cry to myself, good. You never know. I love a good female voice, man. Yeah, a good, strong, soulful female voice.
I've got a
Might
look
think
for reggae music myself.
yeah, reggae, man. Yeah, bit of reggae dub.
Yeah, absolutely. The sound system culture is amazing. Or what was a huge thing in Dublin as well. Like, you know, again,
Yeah, for
the lack
sure.
of venues,
Definitely.
going back to that has kind of negated that maybe a little bit.
Yeah, would you have gone to like rub-a-dub parties and stuff like that?
Oh, big time. It's a good friend of mine, like, as well. Like, you know, so big appreciation for what them guys were doing for years. Really adding so much to Dublin. When you were doing, me and Lewis were doing a show on Dublin Digital Radio on DDR for a while during the lockdowns as well. Just to kind of keep us connected with everybody, and we made sure to get Ireland on the show because I know they've kind of stopped doing rub-a-dub.
Yeah.
But their actual final party, I don't know, did you go to it?
No, their final party, we had
In the complex.
Yeah, we had breakage over on the same night.
Right.
So we kind of clashed on that one. There was a bit.
It was a savage show, it was savage. I hadn't seen a party like that in Dublin because when I lived in Berlin, there's a huge sound system culture over there just because it's a much bigger city, 4 million people. You could go to a sound system party at least a couple of times a month.
Yeah.
And I have a huge love for that. But that was one of the only times I've seen it happen like that in Dublin, where a big massive warehouse, and they didn't only have their own it's a huge sound system.
I've seen the system. Yeah, it's a beast. Yeah.
But they had another
built it,
separate
didn't
sound
they?
system. Yeah, no, they built it themselves and stuff.
From scratch.
And it's savage and stuff, yeah.
It's sick. Yeah.
It's actually
I've
interesting
used-
bringing that full circle, that when we shot the music video that I was just showing you there, the Cypher one that's coming out in a couple of weeks, we did it out in the warehouse, out in the one that Dre got us.
Yeah,
house
yeah.
near the airport, and the sound system was actually sitting.
It was just sitting there.
Yeah,
No,
the rub-a-dub sound system was sitting in the warehouse, and I was like, wow, this is kind of cool to see that. too.
Yeah. No, we've used a system that was similar when we were down in Cork, Jonesy's. It's Rise Up sound system.
Rise Up, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, Rise Up, yeah.
Yeah.
Beast of a system.
Yeah.
We had it in. It was only a small venue. It was called the Kino. So it was a real intimate. It was like a mini hangar. I don't know if you ever went to hangar back in the day.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's like a mini hangar. It's only I don't know how to explain that other than that. And
I've seen some of the videos actually.
we actually recorded the whole thing is on YouTube.
We had like the fence around the kind of thing.
Yeah, we done like a boiler room type vibe where we put the DJ booth in the middle and we had the sound system at the back, so it was like the whole room was getting it. And it's actually on YouTube. We recorded the whole thing and put it up. It was Denim Audio and Dr. Dubplate. We had them over. We done a little bit.
That does ring a bell.
Yeah, we were down in Cork and then we brought them back up to Dublin then for the second show in Bowlane then the next day.
I don't know if you've ever seen Revelation Sound System, them guys.
No, I don't think
They're from Cork as well. They're the OGs of the whole thing. Like the older guys again. I think they've been doing that sound system for about 20 years. But at EP, Trenchtown, they run that whole.
Yes, right, okay.
So that big massive sound system that you probably hear from, well, it used to be the Body and Soul area, which is called Cream. Them guys are savage. Like that's a whole different.
My mate is after putting a good few quid into one as well. You probably know him, David. Do you know David Oblivion? David Keaton.
David King,
Yeah, he's been using his systems now for a good while as well. I think there's been a few meetups. There's is it Injector? I think they're called Injector events.
Interruption.
No, Interruption is David's. That's his thing. Yeah, that's his label and brand. But I think they're called Injector events. Been keeping an eye on them on Instagram, but they've been throwing kind of cool little like sound system gatherings, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
We're in Dublin, like Ireland, I suppose, as well.
thought you meant to ask where are these gatherings. I was like,
No. Here has like the best sound system, because you ever see like people are like, for a while there was Hangdoi has the best, or like Hen's Teeth has a Hatchet sound system that's all built for
Tony
Hen's
Hatchet
Teeth,
sound
yeah.
systems.
Toby
are meant to
Hatchet,
be.
yeah.
They're meant
Well,
to
that's
be-
the big romance is like, you know, probably
That's the same as well, yeah.
that's Toby Hatchet as well. I think that's probably the best.
But like in no particular order, like if there was a top 10 or top 5 or something like that, would you be able
Well, like the kind of industry standard is really Function 1, isn't it? It's well, most people always end up.
I remember you
going
were
with
starting to
or
get
else-
Function 1 in at the start,
Yeah.
and it was just blow the roof off.
Yeah. And then there's Jesus me, I'm getting brain farts here now. What's the one that they use it at Fuine? Well, they didn't this year, but most of the years they used to have it on Fuine on the Keeper Lit stage.
Had a Void sound system.
Void. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Void sound systems are phenomenal as well. I love them.
Yeah.
But
For me personally, it would be places like, definitely the big Romance stands out if you get a good DJ. I know Daniel Avery's actually playing there at the end of the month, so they're getting him in to do like a 5-hour influence set and stuff. So it'd be amazing to see him in such a small venue like that.
Fidelity,
Fidelity's, no, that's the same again.
Is it the same? That's
the
a Hatchet
same
sound
owners
system,
and
is
it's the same. It's
Yeah.
Toby Hatchet in the sound system there. I don't know if you know about a venue called Colonies of Lep down the country.
Cork, yeah.
Collie
Played there. That was the first time I heard it. Was when Cuddy played.
Yeah, I went down last year because I'm doing some management things for Cian Finn, an artist from Galway. So he's a reggae artist from Galway and many other genres as well, but primarily reggae. And that's Toby Hatchet down there as well. And honestly, when I was in that venue, it's a very, very special venue in Ireland.
Everything's like custom made.
I've heard
For the acoustics of everything that it is as well.
I've heard great things about it. Collie has been down twice now, and he just keeps ranting on about it. Both times it was just we had something on and couldn't go down with him. But
No, it's an amazing old spot. I have to say, it's in
West Cork, isn't it?
It's in West Cork. It's in a place called Lep. It's in a place called Lep. And honestly, like when we were driving down, I went down with Fungi to go down to Cian Finn's show. And we were like, are we going to the right place? It's literally just a one road, it's a one road village. It's not even in Skibbereen, like, Skibbereen's small enough.
Yeah, I think Collie was staying somewhere else, and they had to get a bus up for him, or a taxi or something like that.
Oh, no, you would.
to go get him, like, just to bring him to Connolly's and then back.
It's a proper magic.
But they have a Hatchet sound system as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so
I think they're the three places that stand out to me for like smaller kind of like local kind of venues, and then obviously you have the Function One sound systems, a bigger venues. Yeah, here in
I'd say Index as well done a phenomenal job on their sound system.
I haven't been into Index since it's
so I'm not too sure what it is. I never actually asked, but when I was in there for the launch night, down at the back of the venue they knocked the wall, so it's like another extra bar that's built down the back.
So that would be underneath what would have been the balcony above.
Yeah. And then under a bit further, so you can nearly look out onto the main street at the end of the wall. Then,
right, okay.
But when you go down to order a drink, it's like you're up the front of the venue. They have a sub and two tops down at the back. So like even when you're ordering a drink, the quality of sound is like you're standing like in front of the DJ. It's sick.
Yeah,
it's the first time I've seen that in like an Irish club that it was just up to that standard. Like because. Like I wasn't a big fan of the sound in Opium prior to Index taking it over. There was you kind of always needed to be in a bit of a sweet spot to get it fully, like. Whereas
it's more like an event space nearly that was doing.
Yeah, it's like
now it's being run for DJs, and you can see there's a difference.
But it's a massive difference. Like they've done a phenomenal job on what they set out to do. I think Fernando had a plan in his head that he kind of took inspiration from different clubs around Europe and stuff like that.
You can see that for sure,
and definitely implemented it and done a phenomenal job at it as well.
And obviously here now it's going very well now as well.
Yeah, we can do some quality shows up there, man. Obviously the Chasing Status one was obviously a standout one.
I was there for that, man. I was like, I have to say, honestly, I don't really go out too much in Dublin. Like not consistently. Yeah. For me, that was one of the highlights of last year that I personally went to. And I'm not to say I've been on the show. I think it was the energy.
For all of us, it was just something different. It was something I'd never experienced in Dublin before. Was that was like festival energy, but in a club. It was. I mean, it was just like there was at one point there was like 4 or 5 different people on each other's shoulders, tops off, just swinging them around. Like it was just crazy. Like I'd never seen.
And obviously, had Dre and Connor on support. I had to laugh at one point. I was like, guys, I haven't seen you getting so many hugs.
It was a very, as you go back to the word wholesome. It was a wholesome night for everyone all around us.
It's also got 90, but it's very wholesome
because it was actually our 8th birthday as well. So it was like Illicit's 8th birthday party. So it was a really nice way to kind of celebrate it. It was really. Definitely.
There was, or seeing a quote, it was like drum and bass had taken over Dublin that weekend.
Yeah, because you had Dom.
The whole thing was just drum and bass.
Dom Whitten was on the exact same, not the same night.
Yeah, in Centrepoint.
In Centrepoint. So you'd like not only one full sold out venue of drum and bass, but to have like another one that done well and had people on as well. It's not like one stole the show. Like the other one was still busy as well. So it was great to see. Yeah, it's not something you see often in.
And a lot of grassroots support for that, wasn't there? Like obviously having all the local guys on support, like what you were doing, like Fair Play, and then like Centrepoint did the same. Donald Sharps on there.
Sharps was on it, and funny enough, we actually had Sharps and we had Frame Shift Rob. I don't know if you know him.
I know Rob,
Chuck the Bicky Crew.
Yeah.
And then we had Sloppy Joe and Glizzy as well. They were warming up for Boo. So Boo was
Christmas.
Over Christmas, yeah. So we got Boo over, which was the guy that made the Badadan tune with Chasing Status.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, it was the two of them that produced it together, Chasing Status and Boo.
Yeah.
But Boo would be more in the jump up scene. So I suppose like it's if you were looking at it from people that didn't really listen to drum and bass, it's like obviously. In the house you've got your deep house, you've got your tech house, and then you've got like your techno, and then even within techno you've got your hard groove, and then industrial, and like it goes off into different subgenres.
Absolutely.
With drum and bass, they'd be a little bit different to Chasing Status. So like Bill would be more jump up, which it's a different sound compared to your regular drum and bass or liquid or anything like that. But It was another great show, really fun to do. Different, I suppose, alternative. It's just something different that I was looking to do in there as well, because like you're so used to seeing house and techno everywhere, and
it's they're the primary genre, so it is nice to see that there is something else.
Nice to keep.
You know?
I've always had that drum and bass background to an extent, because of obviously we've been talking about Dre as well, and having that connection there, and I've always had, from being surrounded with my mates, even when I started off DJing, I started off with house, and then as more knowledge you got in the industry and over the years you get different tastes in music, but you always kind of stick to the one that you're most fond of. But even when we started throwing parties together, like it was always house, techno, drum and bass. Like I think our third party was the drum and basement in Sweeney's basement that we used to do, and it was always one of our most popular ones. And we used to have the lads come in. Funny enough, Pager was there.
No way.
Connor.
That's how we met.
Ray, they used to come in back then. We'd have the lads DJing, and the lads would jump on the mic and start MCing while the lads were playing drum and bass. That was back in 2015.
We used to start with hip hop, and then Andy, yourself, and whoever, like, you all go into, like, it started going heavier and heavier, and then I'd go into drum and bass then.
We've always had, like, always been that kind of cross genre, and then even as myself as a DJ, like, even though I was always primarily house and then moved into kind of tech house, techno, whatever, drum and bass, I've always probably, even though I don't play drum and bass gigs, I've always enjoyed probably playing drum and bass more than I've ever enjoyed playing other genres. And I know that's.
Do you mean like live, or like just doing mixes, or
as mixing? Like, it doesn't matter if I'm in my bedroom playing it. Like, the flow of mixing, when you mix drum and bass, man, and just catching the beats and the energy off it, like, it's so fun to play. Whereas with like house and stuff, it could be a little bit more difficult, and you've got some like vocals coming up and you have to loop them, and it goes in that
pressure
strict,
on it as well.
It goes in that strict 4x4 beat. Whereas with this, it's like with the drum and bass, you can nearly catch it on a different type of kick, and it will still go with the flow. Like, and you can it's more intricate. It's just, you can do crazy shit with it. It's just really, really, really fun to play.
What are you enjoying the most at the moment in terms of playing?
In terms of like listening to, or like mixing, or like what, just
like playing it live, maybe.
A bit, again, this has always been my problem as a DJ. Like, I just I
good problem to have.
I never just stick to one genre and try and push myself into one genre. Like, I suppose over the years, I was always playing house, but over the last few years, I've definitely took more of it. Like, I've just released a hard groove techno mix on Research label. Just went out live there the other day. Really enjoyed making that mix. That's an hour of just like heaters, just fucking pumpy techno, fucking bravey goodness. Which I always enjoy mixing. Again, it's like drum and bass, it has that flow, even though, because it's faster, and you can do the chopping. I'm a very, when it comes to DJing, I love my like chopping and messing with it, like echo and kind of echoing things out and chopping them back in, and so I get loads of fun out of playing that hard groove kind of buzz. So really enjoy making that one. And then we're starting a new mixtape series it's called, and that's going to be coming out soon, and I only recorded that last night. And that's like a mixture of like house, UKG, and a bit of techno as well.
I wonder what I've seen that in your story.
There's about 18 tracks in the mix altogether, and it's like you've got to add like anywhere from like Sally C to DJ Swisherman and Dylan Fogarty, and you've got some like nice UKG stuff in there as well. Like, nice blend of stuff, because that's my problem. Like, I can't just stick to one sound. I get so bored in a mix of obviously techno's a bit different, because you can get different kind of nearly sounds within that techno. But like, say if I'm just playing, I couldn't just play an hour of like vocally kind of house that, it's like I just get so bored within 15 minutes. Like, I'd have to kind of feel like I need to jump into a different genre or something, like, obviously it's depend when you're playing live, you're looking and you're reading the crowd, and you couldn't just start playing a lot of mad shit if you're doing bar vibes or whatever. But at home, and you're having a little mix, and that's the whole point of this mixtape series, I think, is like to be able to kind of go across them genres and show a side that I enjoy playing, when it might not necessarily be what you'd catch if I'm out playing at a gig. You might not get the full extent of what I like to play. So it's the whole point of this series was to kind of show that, which I'm going to get some guests on as well. So I'll probably release one every second or third one, or kind of go back to doing the mix for it, and then maybe every second one I'll get in a guest or something. I haven't fully decided yet, but that's coming out soon. As I said, I only recorded it last night, so that's going to be coming out. There's a few nice bits coming out with Illicit now soon this year. I don't know what we'll tip on and what we can't. Keith, he's in the background there.
In the background, nice. That's cool, man.
I have to say, Keith's been working very hard in the background. He's kind of redesigned a good bit on the website, which isn't live yet, but he showed me the other day, and there's some really cool concepts. Again, like, what do you want me to do? Will it tip on too much, or like there's some cool stuff coming up pretty much. Like we want to create more of a community. We've always been about community and bringing people together and creating that kind of family
I can see
vibe.
that
But
for sure, like,
we want to kind of bring it that step further and create. We've the plans for something to kind of create like a support kind of network. Like it's nearly like a little thread based type thing that you can bring people together and give them exclusive kind of offers and give them maybe free tickets to certain things, and like just a reward system for the loyalty of people that have been kind of coming to our gigs over the last 8 years and shown love the way they have, because there's been a lot of nice support over the years, and it's nice kind of a way to give back to the people as well as try and help us expose our brand, continue to expose our brand, because there'll be a lot of people that would be in the younger generation that might only be going out since COVID, you know, that wouldn't really know about us, or they might have only came to one or two of our gigs and don't realise, they've been doing stuff the last 8 years, or you know, just because you're doing something 8 years doesn't mean that you fucking everybody knows you know what I mean? It's always nice to get that exposure and get things out there, so it's nice to give back to the people, create a community type based thing. I won't reveal on it too much, but we'll be able to touch on it in the next episode or two when we have it kind of ready to go. But there's other elements to it as well. There's a little kind of academy thing coming up as well. Obviously great that we have this space. It's great. So we have a little academy thing coming up where we're going to be doing production and DJ lessons.
It's great that you guys are giving back, but it's also very much well deserved, all the support and appreciation you guys do get, because again, it's not easy to do that kind of thing.
It's always nice to, it keeps you kind of going and keeps you doing it, you know, because you can become, this game is, I suppose, it's very easy to get wrapped up in your own head. Like mental health obviously within the industry is always something that's being highlighted, but also being kind of neglected at the same time.
It's hard to address it.
It can be awkward to address it at times, of course, but it's man, like when you're working at this type of thing in Throne Party, like the whole thing is like you want people to enjoy your party, and you want them to like you, like your party, and like, you know, like you, B like your party, and C and C, we're still do the whole alphabet here. I'm counting on the fingers while I'm saying them. But yeah, like it's you made me have a brain fart. Look at you, bastard.
Yeah, loading it up as well. Will we have the hopefully first of many hip hop series? We were saying about, like, because you had said like what we playing or what we listening to, what he's listening to, what's going to tickle the fancy now within hip hop. Yeah, like purely hip hop, if that's what you've been kind of.
I will let Aaron go first. You can answer that. What have you been listening to?
I listen to a lot of it now, to be honest. Like, I'm not fully ensconced in the scene. I think.
Are you more of a UK or like an American hip hop head?
To be honest, at the moment, I'm not really listening to much hip hop at all.
Really?
I do think sometimes, like,
see, it falls back to what we said.
I do think sometimes the perception
don't listen to what they're in. Yeah,
like, you know, like, oh, okay, like you run Outstraight or whatever. Like, you know, it's like you probably think that you're listening to everything all day, every day, and it's like, it's also, I don't have tunnel vision. It's like I just don't really listen to a lot of the new music at a lot of times. I try and make the effort to do it. In terms
it can be a painful fucking process at times though as well. I tell you, when you're trying to find new music, and some of it is.
Hell, if you're working in it, then if you're listening to it and you're like, you can overconsume as well. Then
you can, but I mean, in any genre, even if I'm trying to find new music when it comes to like hip hop and not something that's house or techno, like, and especially the American stuff, I kind of have a good source I can go to for the UK stuff. I know I'm staying away from the drill. I'm gonna find the jazzy beats and the UK kind of like high focus kind of buzz, but you know, like some of the American stuff that's out there at the moment, man, it's
I think if, like, obviously over the last year,
hard to listen to. Like,
we didn't know where we were going with that.
It's kind of hard.
Didn't know we were going to say fucking unreal or what.
Man, I like
some of it's quite hard.
It can be that whole mumble thing, man. Like, I couldn't get into that.
I don't like it. I don't really like it. Not that I don't like it, but I never really gave it a chance, just because it didn't.
From anything that I did give it a chance with, it was like that.
I tried, but it just
what's his name?
didn't.
6ix9ine, is it? The guy that went to prison and stuff. With the rainbow hair.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Is it?
Kashi,
I listened to that tune that made him famous, the SoundCloud one, and then he had a like music video with it, the one that blew him up.
Was it? Well, you just prefer like old school.
To me, he's just screaming into a mic. Like, there was no flow, there was no like groove or nice rhythm to his voice. It was just like screaming.
What was smart about him though is, like, he went around the world and did songs with, like, because I remember when I was living in Berlin, he did a song with like a genuine gangster rapper from Berlin, like, you know, so like then he would have been like one of the biggest rappers in Berlin at the time, and that blew him up in that scene. I know he was doing the same, and like
he was very smart in what he did.
Well, personally, like, no, I wouldn't listen to
not into the music, but like, you can't bash a good businessman, you know. It's like saying you don't like McGregor. Some people don't like his personality, but you can't fault a man that knows how to fight and make money and
Proves it, doesn't it?
A great businessman. You can fucking not like him all you want, but I doubt he's going to be losing any sleep over you not liking his personality at the end of the day, you know.
But to go back to that question though, I do think it's pretty good to maybe highlight some of the Irish hip hop is popping. Like, you know, there's so much going on. There's so many people trying to push it forward, and they're trying to push it forward for all the right reasons, I feel like, as well. So like, while I don't sit down and listen to all the music, I do try and give my time and attention to all the different parts that are going on. And just people like the Bally Boys, like, you know, down in Wexford, like, they're doing great things. They're very much on like the video side as well. I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff that they're doing.
No.
But
it's definitely got to be homework right now.
Yeah, like the Bally Boys are fantastic, and they're putting so much work into their videos as well. Like, really high concepts behind what they're doing. They're supporting Scruffy Munley, I think, next Friday.
I've seen him on support for Kneecap 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so he was supporting them, but now he's doing his own headline show, and Macca Rhymes is on the support as well, and a couple other artists. Courtesy's doing fantastic things.
Just about to mention him, he opened the Saturday night of that gig.
Yeah. So he's doing great things as well. I think he's really like making a good connection with like fan bases and stuff. I haven't seen.
He was very good, man. He was nice and interactive with the crowd and stuff. And he was.
That's what I was going to say. I haven't seen someone have a really good interaction with the crowd. Very like he's played a lot of shows with Outstraight as well. So big ups Courtesy. Gab's his first name, and he's doing great things as well.
Yeah, nice guy, man. Yeah.
There's a lot of people pushing the envelope forward, and like obviously we still have all the OGs doing it too, but there's a few other people I'd really be keeping a close eye on. Is an artist you probably definitely haven't heard of, Rodney Paz.
I have heard of Rodney Paz. Yeah. So like just through one of the lads as well.
Yeah, so he's kind of like he doesn't have too many things out at the moment, but he's very, very interested in terms of like he has such a different concept behind what he's doing and his approach to music in general. He isn't actually just hip hop. Yeah, he's doing like kind of acoustic stuff as well and different kind of genres. But he did a show with us last year in the Sugar Club. No, were you at any of the shows in Sugar Club last year?
I didn't get to any of the ones in the Sugar Club.
Yeah, so we did a show with a live band called All Caps, who are like, they do like, they're a multi-genre kind of band as well. They're all fantastic musicians in their own right, and then they have their own projects, but come together as a hip-hop band to...
I heard of that.
I've seen videos where Panda was big enough.
Panda killed it because he was actually, it was a funny thing. It was one of the only weeks last year where we did a couple of shows in the one weekend. So Outstraight were up doing a show in Belfast with Big Jacket Crew. I think on like say the Friday, and then on the Saturday we were doing our show in the Sugar Club. Yeah. So which was our show, which was with All Caps, and Panda absolutely killed it, I have to say, in particular. But Rodney Paz played with that show as well, and I think he has the after movie coming out soon, so he recorded it himself, and his collective is called House of Hibernia. But I've never seen something like this before, where he actually performed as a puppet. So it's very hard to describe what he was doing, but he had like built a whole like box essentially, and he had like a ventriloquist essentially, and he had like built this puppet, and the puppet was rapping. So you didn't see him at all. He's behind like a green screen.
So you had the puppet that was doing
the puppet's doing rapping, like yeah. So like, and he has more things coming. It's like an alter ego thing that he's kind of doing. Yeah. So it's Rodney Paz and then Julio Rubio. I feel like I'm telling all his secrets at the moment, but I don't think I am because of the fact that he's done the show live. Yeah. So he's done the show with us, but it was a mind-blowing thing when I was telling people when they were coming to the show. I was like, oh, Rodney's doing the show, but you're not going to see him. Yeah. Essentially. Like, so there's a lot of people doing lots of different things in hip-hop and Ireland. And
it's definitely...
There's lots of other people I could highlight as well, but... I do try and listen to as much of it as possible, like, because, of course, yeah, people are doing all good things, I would say.
Plans you're going to show us anyway this year? I'm sure you're going to have plenty on showcase.
You have some plans for some more showcases this year. Maybe a little bit less in terms of the shows, but maybe different kind of shows again. This year is going to be the plan for what.
Well, there could be a chance to strip back on like the quantity and then up the quality as well. Like,
exactly, and do different things. Exactly, and do different production values. Like, definitely was inspired by seeing Rodney do something like that, where it was a green screen, a ventriloquist, a puppet. And you didn't see him at all, and the crowd loved it. I have to say, like, you know, because there was a whole different element of.
Like, Kojak does stuff like that as well.
Exactly, Exactly, like,
for his latest album. Yeah. But like, if you see videos of his live shows, he comes out in the suit with the FX on, like the fake teeth and everything like that, and he plays
Hacky Kid and then jumping into the crowd and jumping out and going mad.
Yeah, he has real cool things that he's doing, like that kind of American kind of rock kind of crossover, isn't it? Like, as well, like, so. Yeah.
And then like even Brick Nasty, like, obviously your man, the main fella's from Ballymun, and like he doesn't want people knowing it. He's the mask on the whole time, and he's doing it.
Never know.
Yeah, it's like I didn't really. That's what I love about the live gigs as well, though, because I went there to see Maverick Sabre and didn't really listen to Brick Nasty. I've heard of them, but they with them opening up the set and they were the first ones playing, like I was immersed in it, man. They were so good. The man Lewis, I think his name was, on the saxophone, and then he'd like jump off the sax and jump back on the keys, and then at one stage he'd whip out a tambourine and start banging. It was just deadly, man. It was really cool to see.
There's 2 other acts I'd actually definitely recommend to check out as well. Would be Citrus Fresh down in Limerick. Fantastic kind of like avant-garde kind of hip hop. He did a show with us there last year. He released an album called Good Grief. Got a lot of like kind of acknowledgement and recognition in different playlists and stuff, and end of year kind of lists. Lovely guy as well. Mad character, I have to say now. But he made an album called Good Grief that's like 23 minutes long. Genuinely, listen to this album, it's amazing. And fantastic showman as well on stage. When you're watching him, it's like a comedy show, nearly, like, you know, as well. So he was amazing. And then we had Leo Miyagi down from Belfast.
Oh, here's
Yeah, so like kind of like very much more on the soul kind of side as well, and brought a whole band down. We did a show in the Shirt Club with him last year, and yeah, he has some big things I'd imagine coming this year too. So just that the breadth of hip hop is huge in Ireland, which is
I think artistry in general, I think, is just it's booming. Like you know, it's nice to see, especially after lockdown and stuff. I'm sure a lot of people would have more than ever got stuck into what they wanted to do.
Sharpening the sword. That's it. They're ready for it.
It's definitely kind of evident now, more than ever, that it's across the industry. Obviously, hip hop is booming, but you can see the amount of producers and like even DJs. Even with the Here and Now page, we put out something on the Instagram the other day about like what DJs would you like to see?
What the local DJs you want to see?
What local DJs would you like to see kind of support some international acts that we've booked over the next while? Like just to
there's hundreds of comments on it.
100, man. We got, it was like 2.5, it was 2,500 comments within like 6 hours or something.
Jeez.
Ridiculous.
The hunger is there
the hunger is there, man.
Well,
There's so many DJs and producers and all sorts.
Yeah.
Even photographers and like artistic shit in general, man. There's graffiti everywhere you go in Dublin. You're seeing fucking class pieces around the place.
What was the thing in Berlin called? Was it like Blitzkrieg or something like that? Do you remember they used to do like the live painting with DJs?
They used to do that up in Berlin too.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So they used to do Blitz. That Rio had that concept. He done it.
Yeah.
Rio's a good guy.
Yeah, he done it was called Blitzkrieg. Yeah, it was so you'd be doing live art and they'd have like six different painters or whatever in, and they'd have a DJ playing while the people are doing the live art. You can walk around, look at that, and then at the end of it you were able to
bid on it.
Everyone would have to like write down the name of their favourite one and throw it in a yoke, and the winner would win, whatever, you know.
Savage.
It's a cool concept, man. Deadly concept. Sure. What time are we on there, lads?
59.
59?
Yeah.
On the button. Just coming to the end of it now. Lovely. Anyone else you want to kind of plug or anything that you want to kind of promote before we wrapping it up?
Well, doesn't have to be.
No, I think we kind of covered a lot of what we're doing with Outstraight. I guess give a shout out to Chucky Vicky as well, like, you know, what Donald Sharpson's doing.
Yeah, actually, I tip on that before we finish up. That collab you done with them was really, really cool. I like that. It was where did you like rent a gaff, or was that just like your own?
That's Rob's place.
That was just Rob's gaff, like, yeah.
So the
that was class. And just set up shop and just got down. Like.
They gave us the shout outs to do it. We went down. It was amazing, yeah. And for a lot of the lads in Outstraight, like, you know, obviously like Dre and Connor are very comfortable with the drum and bass, but for the other lads,
something different for you guys though, yeah, I suppose, because all your hip hop shows, like, it's all the hip hop that you're doing. It's not MCing to an extent. There's no like really MCing. The lads might jump on when there's a drum and bass set.
Dre and Connor will, no bother.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose, but the other lads, like, I think, being honest, I was a bit nervous that day on the day when it's like, but like, can I do this? And like all his verses were like, you know, like hip hop focused and structure behind hip hop. And I remember it was actually again a really nice moment where I think Connor sat down next to me. He's like, no, you can just translate the verse onto this. And he hopped up and he absolutely killed it, and he also had a really good time doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
But obviously Donald is the main guy behind Chucky Vicky with all the lads, really.
Yeah, sure.
And big ups to him. Like, you know, I've known Donald for
very talented guy, man.
I've known him for like, I don't know how long now, since we were in secondary school, so a really, really long time. Like, I don't actually know, I can't remember how I originally met him, but he's from Glasgow and I'm from Cadbury. So
was he a school teacher at one stage?
He was, yeah, before, and he's over in London now at the moment, so...
he's back and forth, he's still back and forth all the time, man, doing bits of
yeah, big time,
he's a phenomenal producer as well, like, across the spectrum, like, whether it's house or fucking techno or
he's doing double screen, then he's doing his sharps and things as well.
Yeah, he's three stripes selector, he's so many different little A-lists.
He's doing Boy Racer now, I think, is a new thing. He only released that last week as well, so... you know, huge things. I think Rob kind of ran the thing that we did with Chucky Vicky more so.
Yeah.
So
definitely shout out to that crew. They, as I said, we had them in for Bill as well, and they smashed it. So you've got some more things probably cooking with them coming up in the new year as well, hopefully. Yeah,
I'd imagine so. Yeah, we'll have some plans going. Like,
we'll keep a hush obviously as well. We've got some plans going as well. We'll definitely get some shit going in the new year. Though.
Keep a hush.
Keep a hush for now, but
3 days.
We'll definitely get some shit going. You'll see some illicit and some Outstraight chicken.
But yeah, like if we are kind of like wrapping it up a little bit, just to say thanks to everybody and all the people who came to the shows, because without that, you know, like what are you doing in the first place? All the lads directly in Outstraight, Lewis, all the promoters who really help, because again, we do keep all our shows really affordable. The shows are often free in, or else we keep them really affordable. Like even coming to something like Flip Tricks, I think original tickets were €10. You know, so but again, it goes back to the point of we want people to come and enjoy themselves. It's like it's hard to live in Dublin. It's not.
At the end of the day, you still got to pay the bills as well. Like it's always yes to give back to the people, but don't sell yourself short either.
No, but the promoters make the shows possible for us in the sense of doing that, like, you know, make it a little bit more affordable, because it isn't cheap to live in Dublin these days and go out on night out. So
definitely not. Especially
it's important for me to get to do it
now more than ever. Post pandemic, now more than ever. I think.
And I know you do that a lot as well, actually. So shout out to yourself.
Yeah,
and your personal story the old time with the guest list and stuff for people who maybe otherwise wouldn't be able to go out that night.
Yeah.
And that always inspires me to do the same thing. And there's lots of people who listen, don't you? You know. Yeah,
definitely, man.
Yeah,
it's kind of scary now at this stage how expensive everything's gotten. I think we're the number one most expensive country in Europe at the moment.
So a night out isn't cheap, like, you know.
No, it's not, and you can see it still does. People still pick and choose the nights. You obviously got like certain people that will still go out every weekend and they'll limit themselves, but it's the whole general kind of consensus behind going out, like the mixture of like taxis and how much it is for, but like £8 for a pint in some places.
Also, we discussed this as well.
It's crazy.
It's the most expensive night out for the least amount of time.
Yeah,
everything closes at 2
o'clock.
Yeah,
because of that thing.
Whereas if you go to Berlin, everything is way cheaper in Dublin anyway.
But if you pay €20, you can stay out for 8 hours.
Till 8 in the morning, if you want to.
I know, it's insane, isn't it?
So I really do appreciate everyone who comes through to an Outstraight show, and we've got that support massively over the last year, and hopefully that going forward too.
And keep an eye out for the music video that's landing as well in a couple of weeks. We haven't actually set a date just yet, but it will be out very soon. I've got like February. It's fairly sick.
Yeah, cheers for that. Yeah, really looking forward to getting that one out, and shout out again to Josh for that, and then we'll have the EP and of course everything else then to come after the EP. So
for sure, it's gonna be a big year, I think, across the board. A lot of plans are in motion.
Big time.
Yeah. For sure. Well, fingers crossed anyway that it plays out that way, but looking forward to it, and hopefully looking forward to a couple of collabs over the next year with yourself as well, you know.
100%.
Shout out and shout out to the Outstraight Records crew in general. Shout out to Don Cobbs, Bino, Trey, everybody across the board. Like
there's 10 of us, so like there's a lot of us.
There's a lot of people shouting out there, but like again, if you're watching this and you this is just an introduction to Outstraight and you haven't seen them before, check them out. Go hit up the Instagrams. Go check out that music video that we're talking about. Probably be out by the time this podcast is even up. So go and do your research and go check it out. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up at that then, lads. Yeah.
Easy, lads. Big time.
So everybody, we'll sign out. Appreciate you for tuning in to episode 3, and we'll be back with episode 4 very shortly. Thank you. Peace out.
Cheers, lads.